So hi on Luminous Podcast. I'm Shane.
I'm Glory.
Throwback Monday for Thursday. Throwback Thursday recorded on a Monday, posted the next Monday, and it's fucking dark outside.
Post podcast. Throwback Thursday recorded on a fucking Monday for a Monday. I had to fight for my life to fucking keep that intro in there. I hope all fucking Throwback Thursday enjoyers are appreciating that shit now. When I say fight for my life, Shane ran it past me. I said to Gloria, I was like,
I want to cut that intro and do something new, and she was like, hell no, I really like that.
I like that shit.
That's fine, we'll start recording.
Exactly, yeah. So yeah, we're so back. Great
Last week we finished off the Motionless in White discography dive. We actually put the last one out today at the time of recording, which is so fucking weird.
That's fucking weird, yeah.
And now, as we said at the end of that last one, we're diving into Panic! At the Disco. Big band for Glory and I. If you're not familiar with the podcast, it's kind of the reason why we met. We met in a Panic! At the Disco Discord server that Glory owned. It is no longer a Panic! At the Disco Discord,
no.
But we met there. So this band is kind of the reason why we're here, which is weird.
It's so fucking weird
to say.
Shout out Panic, honestly.
Shout out Panic for that. And this record that we're going to be chatting about in particular is, at least for me, very huge, and I'll get into it once I introduce it. We're chatting about Panic! At the Disco and their 2005 album, A Fever You Can't Sweat Out, which I would just like to say, normally I like to have OBS open on my I split the screen in half, and I have OBS on my right side on this monitor to my right. Today I can't do that because every single fucking song title would be cut off if I kept the window open, and I'm gonna have to read the whole song title. That's like an unspoken rule between Glory and I. We read the whole song title.
It's a fucking thing, yeah.
At least once. But as I was saying, this record for me is very important. I was kind of reflecting on that while I was listening through this album today. Was kind of the first, it was like the first scene album that I got into. Panic! At the Disco was the first band like within the scene that I got into because of I Write Sins Not Tragedies. That was my gateway drug. I was familiar with the song already because it was massive, and I was really listening to the radio a lot at the time that the song was big in 2005. And this, I checked out this full record. I had some friends at the time that were into Panic! At the Disco as well. So I checked this album out, and it fucking, quite frankly, changed the trajectory of my life, not even to be dramatic. Completely shifted my worldview on music and what it could be. And I owe a lot to this album, for my personal growth within music and all that, and really kind of the reason why I'm a fan of the music I'm a fan of is because of this album. I have a lot of memories of hearing this record for the first time, watching music videos like obsessively on my TV, because like that was like the age where like the watching the music videos obsessively was like just a rite of passage at that age, and it's still a rite of passage for some people. I don't obsessively watch the music videos anymore, but when I was getting into this band, like my mom would go food shopping and I would take over the TV and cast all the music videos to the TV from the YouTube app. I also very distinctly remember walking into I made my mom take me to Best Buy because I was so obsessed with this record, and they had it in stock at my local Best Buy, and it was the last CD I ever bought from Best Buy because they got rid of CDs shortly after that. I remember having to ask for help because they didn't have it out on the floor. They only had it in the back. And I had to have this album on CD because I enjoyed it so much. Lots of memories attached with this album. Very, as I said, very personal and personal record for me. So getting to chat about it on here with the person that I met because of this fucking band, it is one of those full circle, not to be too sappy moments. So yeah, very, very cool stuff. That's what I was thinking about on my drive home today, in case anyone was wondering. Massive fan of this record. This, not like nostalgia aside, talking about this objectively as an album, as a body of work, as a reviewer. I use that term loosely.
Loosely and lightly.
We talk about albums on here. Yeah.
We talk about music.
As a talker of music.
There you go. Like, legitimately though, yeah, we don't really review shit. You know, we talk about it though. We talk.
As a talker of music, this is a fantastic album. Like a 10 out of 10 album, front to back, no skips, fantastic, aged super fucking well. There are a couple of moments like some of the auto-tune that
I knew you were gonna fucking talk about that. Nails fucking Nails for Breakfast, Tax for Snacks. Leave them alone.
It is a fantastic song, but let's be honest, and the auto-tune adds to the song, but it is such a product of its time.
Everyone always calls out Nails for Breakfast, Tax for Snacks, and I don't understand the hate for it. I think it fits the song so well. No, I'm just talking about the criticism. I don't understand the criticism for it because it's not like it doesn't fit the song. You know, it makes sense. Yeah. Sorry, I'm a fucking defender of that song. I love that track so much. Pissing me off already. Okay, sorry, continue.
No, it's just like that very much shows the 2005 vibe that didn't necessarily age the best, but it fits the vibe of the album. And we talk a lot during these reviews of the records being a product of their time, and this is the definition of the product of its time. A 2005 album. Dude, I could literally sit here and name every single goddamn song as a favorite.
Except fucking Nails for Breakfast, Tax for Snacks.
No, I like that song too. Fuck you. Honestly, my least favorites are the introduction and the intermission.
No shit. Name an actual song. What's your least favorite actual song?
Because I have the Shane way that I listen to this record, where it starts with the only difference between martyrdom and suicide is press coverage, and then lying is the most fun a girl can have without taking her clothes off. Funnily enough, just fades into but it's better if you do, because I skip the 2.5 minute intermission every single time, but today I listened to it in the full way, and I still think that the intermission's too fucking long. My least favorite though, dude, I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't know if I could name one. Like I know I was being an asshole by saying that my least favorites are the two obvious non-songs on the record, but I did also preface this by saying I think that this is like one of the few 10 out of 10 albums that I've ever listened to. So like I'm looking at this track list and struggling to be like, there's a song on here that I could say is my least favorite. You would probably have to put a gun to my head and say that it's Life or Death, and I would have to just spit one out, and then you would lie detect. You'd put me on a lie detector test and find out I was lying, because I don't know. I also wouldn't be able to name most of these songs off the top of my head.
Fucking long. The one that goes like this. I don't know whichever fucking
I'll sing it for you.
Yeah. Jesus Christ.
But yeah, I'm a huge fan of this album, as I keep saying. Favorites, funnily enough, is one of them is Nails for Breakfast, Tax for Snacks, Time to Dance, Lying is the most fun. I write sins, not tragedies, and there's a good reason these tables are numbered, honey. You just haven't thought of it yet. That might actually be my favorite. That and Time to Dance.
Too. That's my favorite too.
So fun. Like, there is no reason why that song is as good. No reason why that song is as good as it is.
Yeah.
Front to back, flawless record. Genuinely. What a hell of a debut, bro.
It's actually so. I'm gonna start my little sappy moment too, because you got it and now I won't fucking do it. This album also means a lot to me. Granted, I was introduced to Panic at the Disco more in the Death of Bachelor era, so when we get to that record, that's gonna be when I'm like, oh wah. Not actually though. I'm gonna have a lot more to say, like nostalgia wise for me. I got into this record probably a couple months into already being into Panic at the Disco, because how my brain works is I have to kind of move myself backwards, because I know I'm going to set the band up for failure if I go favorite record, newest record, because I think they just dropped it at the time I found them, to their very debut, which is going to sound two completely different bands, and it does. A Fever You Can't Sweat Out is, I completely agree, a 10 out of 10 record. Listening through it today made me go, hot damn. Fuck, they really knew what they were doing. Like, for a debut. They were like fucking teenagers when they did this. I'm pretty sure they were still in high school, I
Yeah.
think, or just finishing it up, which is insane. Ryan Ross, The Brain That You Have, beautiful, insane. How it opens, introduction, I think introduction is just fine. I think it's fun. It kind of sets it up for okay. It shows little sneak peeks of I think like two little songs. I think it's fun. I think it's cute, and I think it kind of shows that they were having fun and they put like actual thought into a debut record, which isn't something that you see in this era, at least in my opinion. It's not something that you see too much where it's like, we're gonna have like a lot of fun with this, and it's not just gonna like slam you immediately into the record. We're gonna tease a little bit of the fucking songs you're gonna hear. The only difference between Martyrdom and Suicide is press coverage is one of my favorite tracks that Panic has ever dropped. I think it's a very strong, technically first track. London Beckon songs about money written by machines is also fucking insane. I can name this entire fucking record, and I really want to. Genuinely, I fucking love this album a lot. It does mean a lot to me because I think even though I was introduced to Panic at the Disco, Death of a Bachelor era, I do think that this is their second best record. I'll reveal my favorite later. Fuck, I can't give away my tier list either. I feel a certain way about this record, and I think it might or may not be one of their best records. It means a lot to me because when I finally got into this record and I was fully into Panic at the Disco, like at the very peak of my fandom, was when I met Shane and when kind of just like the whole Panic at the Disco server thing took off, and I made it with my best friend at the time. Shout out fucking Charlie. Shout out Charlie. So yeah, it was a big part of my life, and probably like the first time I had like a real like group of friends. So that kind of meant a lot to me. And it was like, look at all of us bonding over a silly little band where none of the members are in it anymore. But goddamn, the music's good.
And we just keep bullying each other about the people that like Pray for the Wicked and the people that don't. Just
and
keep
it's so
battling.
fun. We just keep going. We just keep digging into them. It's so fun. Yeah. I think the record top to bottom is incredible. I couldn't pick a bad song either. My favorite tracks, though, I'm gonna give top 3. I put out 4. I'm gonna give top 4 because I fucking put 4 up. So my number 1 is definitely There's a Good Reason These Tables Are Numbered, Honey. You just haven't thought of it. I've been saying that shit since the very beginning. Check the server history. I could say Tables is my favorite Panic song.
Oh yeah.
That shit is now not true anymore, but it's my second favorite. So we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it later. Second favorite is Kamisato. I fucking love that song. So dancey, so bouncy, incredible. Really big fan of London Beckon songs about money written by machines. God damn, guys. You guys don't make it easy. And then Build God, Then We'll Talk is so good. That music video especially creeped me the fuck out when I was little because I was like, oh my God, my eyes. The fucking mime is humping the air and that's fucking freaky. But now I can actually watch it and go, damn, this shit's artistic as fuck. This is awesome. Again, at their young age, who do you think you are? Like, this shit's awesome. Great record. I could fucking babble about. I could talk because we're not reviewing. I could talk about this record genuinely all day, but I do think it is peak.
Yeah.
And I don't throw that shit around. Like genuinely, fully, wholeheartedly after listening to this top to bottom, I do think it is peak.
Yeah.
Panic, the band that you were.
Oh yeah. 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 We'll get into that as this goes on.
Yeah.
I would just like to say, as this kind of being the first album for me to listen to in the scene, it really desensitized me to super crazy long album titles and single titles. Like this is, or song titles, this is a definition of being tossed into the deep end. So when I got into Fall Out Boy, their titles were a lot less weird to me because I was like, this is just what these bands do. And it was at the at that time.
Bring it back, guys.
But yeah, this is I just thought that was a fun little tidbit because these as we mentioned, these fucking song titles are a mouthful. Super fun to read. This is like one of the first times I am just reading them in full and definitely saying them out loud. There's no point. Like there's a good reason. That's just like that's what
everyone
I would think of. That. Yeah, that's what I would think of.
Well, I always
said
tables.
I would probably be like, "What the fuck is a table, Glory? What are you talking about?
Tables.
Yeah, tables. like a lot of the like lying, instead of blah 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 blah, the whole title. So yeah, fucking fantastic album. I probably spoiled my number one.
I think I might have too, honestly. Yeah, just listening to this record, I'm like, fuck.
Yeah. It's hard. It's hard to top this one. We only got a couple of records with the original full band. And I think that this is just the best that they were ever. It doesn't immediately go downhill, but
it's a slow decline.
Yeah, it's a slow decline, and we'll obviously get into that. But yeah, this is it's hard to top this.
Genuinely,
especially when Pretty Odd was the crazy 180 that it was.
Ryan Ross, again, the man that you are. I didn't fuck with it specifically, but I thought it was cool as shit. Maybe I will.
Very hard to top. So yeah, I'm very excited to dive into the rest of the discography. If you want to hear Gloria and I fangirl for the next several weeks, this is the perfect thing to tune into, because Panic at the Disco, we're both big fans of at least some of the records, maybe not so much the later ones, but it'll be fun to rip into those.
There will be a tone shift for sure. You'll be able to detect it. You'll be like, okay, today we're talking about.
You'll know as soon as you turn the video on.
Just all this joy and happiness and like nostalgia.
I had to listen to this album again.
I'm gonna be honest, I didn't listen to it. I already know how I feel about it, and I can tell you right now. That's gonna be it. It's gonna be so good.
But yeah, these are our thoughts on Panic at the Disco and their 2005 album, A Fever You Can't Sweat Out. As I just finished saying, we'll be chatting about the rest of their albums here over the course of the next several weeks. So if you're a Panic at the Disco fan, you should tune in. We'll be covering every single album in their discography. Other than that, you can follow us on Twitter. It's Good Noise Podcast. Instagram, Good Noise Podcast. Facebook is Good Noise Pod. TikTok is Good Noise Podcast. YouTube, Good Noise Podcast. All those audio streaming services are Good Noise Podcast. And Patreon.com is patreon.com/Good Noise Podcast. Subscribe to us here on YouTube. It helps us out a ton.
Yes.
And other than that, I've been Shane.
I've been Glory.
And we've been the Good Noise Podcast. See you next week. Bye.
Bye.